Hey guys, it is Dana from Little House of Gardening. It is Monday, the 17th. I just wanted to get on here and let y'all know that everything is going good in the greenhouse. And I was actually thinking about um, just something that I was thinking about is when you first start gardening or homesteading, there's going to be moments of pause. Like you bought the stuff, you've put everything in the garden, and so now you're kind of in an in between phase. And so one of the things that you can do, and one of the things that I usually do during that time, is I will usually go through my tools, see what I need to get rid of, see what's broken. I will turn over my soil, um, see if everything is going okay with that. These are the sunflowers. All the sunflowers are going very well. Um, it's looking really pretty. Um, I will look at my soil. You can wash your soil out. You could take boiling hot water and pour it on any soil that you thought got damaged. I might rake my leaves, keep that, put all my leaves in the bag. That way I can use that for soil later. And so the last thing that you want to do in these downtimes, the very last thing that you want to do is start shopping, which a lot of people do. They'll take this time and they'll be like, oh, well, I was thinking I needed this. I was thinking I needed that. And so that's going to defeat your whole point of homes of sorry, I was checking on Genius. That's going to defeat the whole point of homesteading. um is shopping. So when I have downtime, when I'm waiting on my seeds, I usually check soil temperature. I check tools to see if anything needs to get rid of. I will rake my leaves. I will turn over my compost. What else do I do? I will check for, stuff that you're like, oh, I need to reinforce that. So we're gonna reinforce my greenhouse. We bought this basic frame, but I do want to reinforce it so that I can add in some shelving into here. And so that might be something that I do um, when I'm waiting for things to grow, is reinforce the greenhouse. Another thing that I will do is I will go and I will take pictures of the different plants and take notes. Maybe last year my lettuce didn't grow well, and this year it's doing better. And so, really, just recording. For me, now this greenhouse is fabulous. What happened last year was we were using this temporarily for storage, and I hope that y'all can hear me because it looks like my mic is gone. We were using this temporarily, um, just for like random storage until we got the shed. And so, because of that, I wasn't using the greenhouse for the food. And so, we lost a lot. And so, one of the things that I have been doing is really taking inventory of what does my family actually eat. Now, mind you, is two adults, as I said, three kids, one in college. But I have to force them to eat their vegetables. Now, how I get them to eat their vegetables is tell them about all the athletes, and how you have to eat vegetables um, to be an athlete, because they love their athletes. And I always tell them, in order to be smart, you need your brain food. So I have really hit heavy on the potatoes. I have two pots of potatoes growing, and actually it looks like the sun went down, so I'm gonna have to lighten up this video. But I have two things of potatoes growing very well. They're doing great. I'm trying to make sure I don't get up in here. I'm actually gonna wrap this video up. I didn't know it was this dark out. Oh, the onions I'm doing because I want to keep that as a barrier for the scent to keep other animals away. Um, and then I'm doing lettuce. My lettuce did very well last year, was so pretty. I did indoor lettuce once everything got too warm. Like right now, it's actually kind of cold. I might have to close some of the windows. But lettuce we can always eat. We always do like bowls, rice, like the big restaurant. We do our own bowls, so we always need lettuce. And then you can always do your lettuce wraps, your chicken bowls, chicken and rice, steak bowls. I do make a brisket. So we have our lettuce, and then um, I have broccoli that they will eat broccoli and they love Brussels sprouts. So anything like broccoli, cabbage, and Brussels sprouts, because it's still cool, I came out and I was like, you know what? Let me throw some broccoli seeds in here just to see if they will sprout because we're back down to about 53 degrees. I'm going to continue this video inside because I didn't realize how dark it was out here. Okay, y'all, I'm back. I'm like literally catching my breath. Nose is just, my whole nose is cold. Do you touch your nose when you cold? Back to what I was saying. So things that you can be working on is jotting down ideas, keeping record of, what worked in 2024 that you want to continue, what didn't work in 2024 that you want to, fix or edit. Um, and so the thing for me was, I will continue to say this, was the food loss. And so I'm seeing a lot of gardeners say, how do I keep squirrels out and how do I keep rabbits out and things of this sort? And it's like, for me, none of the sprays worked, and I tried it all. I tried all the sprays, like the natural sprays that you could use, natural scents, and none of it worked for me. That doesn't mean it won't work for you. So the greenhouse, it is for me. Now, what I'm planning on doing, because I do have a plan, I want to foodscape my lawn. So today I planted a bunch more onions so that when I bring out, my plan is to bring out my onions and my basils and then my zinnias and sunflowers. So I'll have the onion, basils, zinnia, and sunflowers, kind of as deterrents, from pests. And then I might stick a couple broccoli shoots out there, little plant seedlings, just to see if that works. So I'm kind of in my experimenting phase at this point because we'll have to try several things, right? Before we see what sets in. That being said, it's not a bad thing that animals are trying to come to your garden. And that's what people have to understand. It would be kind of weird if animals didn't want to come into your garden because that means that something's unhealthy. So rabbits and squirrels, that's a good thing. So I'm just trying to find out my method and the best method. It can be done because farmers do it all the time, right? So that's what I've been working on. Another thing that I have been doing is, and this is something that occurred to me today as I'm seeing just so many things happen to people with job loss. And I got to thinking, as the old financial coach in me, because that's what I used to do for a living. It will never ever leave me. But you know, you have to be prepared, and you have to um, decide what can I grow that could possibly I could sell if I needed to. And so that being said, I would encourage people to download those top apps. those Cash Apps, Google Pay, Apple Pay, Zelle, Venmo, whatever the big app is in your area, you know, download that app, because what I have found in my life is you want to be prepared. The business doesn't come if you're not prepared. And I've learned that many times. So might as well get ahead of it while it's kind of cold, while we're getting into spring. That way, if people say, do you sell carrots? Do you sell celery? Oh, sure, yeah, you can cash at me. Just kind of preparing. You never know. You never know what will come out of this. If you're just doing it for your family, that's fine. But I am just telling you from experience. I've had people stop me on the street and comment on how beautiful my plants were. And it's not like I was like, oh, here's a 10-gallon blah, blah, blah for sale. Those were prime opportunities that I could have had some sort of income. So that's something that you want to think of for you and your family, is if it needed to happen, is there something on your homestead that you would be willing to sell? Um, and that's going to put me into my next point. Over this week, I've been thinking, because a lot of people say it's expensive. You know, is homesteading expensive? How are you kind of affording it? And the truth about it, it's not expensive. I've really gotten to thinking about it. Um, Maybe I spend, if I had to put a number on it, probably $75 a month. And I'm saying, if I have to like average that out for 1 year time, um, that wouldn't be every month. I might not use the 75, right? So some months might be 125, another month might be zero. And I'm counting it 75 because what if I want a cute little pot or something like that? If I want a cute little flower pot, I might spend a little bit on it. Um, what I have realized though is we spend money on what's important, and a lot of people don't deem what they're eating as important. And so it is a mindset shift. It's a mindset shift. You really have to start shifting. Do I want to spend more money on my haircut than I do on what's going in my body? And even we know what you eat really promotes or denies hair growth. But so you have to shift the way you're looking at it, because at first it could be like, oh my gosh, I just spent $20 on seeds. And for some people, that's a lot. I will tell you a story. I went to a nursery, and this was many years ago. I would spend, I would go to this nursery, and I had this rule that I was getting everything that I wanted right then, and I wasn't coming back until the next season. So I went with a friend of mine, and I was redoing my backyard. This is just funny because I got these big Florida palms. They're really pretty palm trees, and I planted those in my backyard. So we're trying to fit this big, what looks like a tree, into my car, and it's like 6 feet tall. It barely fit, but she helped me out, and I spent $300 there. But for me, to be able to be back there in the peace of my own home, what the Florida Palms did was it provided privacy for my family, a natural privacy. I didn't have to buy a privacy fence. We had the trampoline, and it was just total bliss. It was some of the best memories that we made, with all the flowers and stuff, and that I put back there, kind of beautified it. Now that's important for me. However, that might not be important for some other people. Excuse me. And again, those all were the plants that they come back again. So that's one way to look at it. Is, for me, is peace of mind, and I like to be happy in the space that I'm in, and I'm willing to spend a little bit more. Now, that being said, on the other hand, some things I cut out is I really don't buy a whole lot of shoes I think I've had these boots for forever. I'm kind of a simple person when it comes to that. I will buy good quality stuff over quantity when it comes to clothes and shoes. And that way I'm saving money there. But truly, the peace of mind is knowing what I'm feeding my family, going home to a beautiful place. And that's going to bring me to my last point is when we vacation, and I talk to my children about this all the time. We sometimes we're looking for an escape because we didn't create a peaceful place for ourselves and in the peace of our home. I'm having some sort of allergic situation happening. I have really bad allergies, so sorry. Um, so for me, I would rather spend money on my home, having it look equally as beautiful as any hotel does outside. Why not? Why shouldn't I? Um, than paying, what is it, $200 a night at hotels now for what I'm really looking for. Is I'm looking for that beautiful space. Most people are looking for a beautiful space. Now, sometimes you're looking for catering, you're looking for not having to do anything, and I get that. And that's why I set aside days where I'm not out there working, I'm just sitting out there. I'm sitting out there with the book, I'm sitting out there with my tea, I get to enjoy it. Otherwise, it will become just work, work, work. But if you think about it in that way, and that is what I do, it's like, do I want to spend $200, $300 a night? I'm sorry, y'all. These hotels are just a little bit outrageous to me for what, less than 24 hours? Or do I want to take that $600 I would have spent on the hotel and get me a cute little hammock, get me some flowers? Even if I have an apartment, I will get me some little fairy lights, get me some cute little window plants, get me a cute little music box. I don't want to say any brands. Get me some cute glasses to drink out of, and have me a date night. So many times plants liven up your space, both indoor and out, and you realize that when you go into a space and there's no plants. So once you start gardening, you will realize very quickly how greenery affects you in a very positive way. Versus when I enter a room without it feels like something is missing because there's no life in there. Essentially, if there's no plants in a space, for me, what is bringing everything alive? We just have the material items. So, all that being said, this is a really good time. Check your list, check it twice. Um, See how you can make money from it. Download those apps. Be prepared to say, oh, yeah, I have some extra lettuce. This is how much I'm going to charge you. Or I have some extra eggs, but I do charge this amount. So be prepared, get prepared, and then ask yourself why you're going on vacations. If it's for the beauty, what can you do to take your space and make it your own? So I will talk to you guys later. Have a good day. Bye bye.